So my social media feed was full of stuff about basketball this week, about the Knicks, which I know is your team from New York. So, but I just have no interest in basketball at all. So why specifically this week did my feed not have anything about football and instead was basketball? Tell me.
Yeah, it probably is a one-off for me that I could genuinely stand up in the particular weekend where FIFA World Cup has commenced and brazenly or confidently turn to the community and say to them, we're not going to talk about FIFA, we're not going to talk about the World Cup. That's what's on your mind. What's on my mind is going to be basketball, and I don't expect you from the onset to be converted to follow the New York Knicks like I've been doing woefully for decades and decades. But maybe if you're willing to go on a journey with me, we'll go somewhere together and understand the principle of what I took from this episode, this fourth game that happened on a Wednesday evening, because there are lessons there for all of us. I've been a New York Knicks fan for life, and now we're fast forwarding already to them having won the championship. As a lifelong New Yorker, I'm on cloud nine. This is probably the greatest sense of feeling that I've had for my city. For all faiths, what's the expression said? My mayor is Muslim, my bagel is Jewish, my Pope is on my side, the Knicks in 5. It's phenomenal.
So that's like literally, I would not have expected this because I really have no interest, and I would have expected it to be full of football, but it wasn't. So there must have been something particular in a particular match which has really kind of caught the flow and made you want to talk about it. What was it about this particular game?
And that's what was so brilliant. I had an opportunity to share a genuine passion of mine in a way that hopefully resonated to some degree. So we're talking about an underdog team.
Okay.
The New York Knicks seem to have had a run during what's called the playoffs, during the period that they're moving towards the championship, the finals, which is going to be the best of 7. And at every stage, people were expecting them to fail. The Knicks typically do. There are football teams that are associated with such things. We don't need to talk about that right now. Suddenly they hit what can only be considered the Goliath. This is the San Antonio Spurs, who were the 2nd seed in the league, and they have this incredible center. He's 7'4", has an arm's wingspan of 8 feet, a giant. And everyone expected them to completely dominate. And it turns out they did. Every single match, every single game, there is some kind of lead that the Spurs are having, whether it's a domination or otherwise, but it's significant. Until the Knicks, time and time again, find a way to come back. But in Game 4, it gets very serious. Because in Game 4, by the halftime, so there's 48 minutes to this particular game, and halfway through it, the Knicks are already down by 29 points. What that means, if you're an analyst, the chances of the Knicks making a comeback are 0.4% at that point in time. The Spurs, based upon statistics, have a 99.6% chance of being victorious. And yet, the Knicks go on some kind of amazing run until they have finally brought that deficit back down to just 2 points with 8 seconds left.
And if they lost this game, does that what's the context of the game? Why is this game important?
You're right. It's the best of 7,
okay.
And therefore it is only one game.
Okay.
But what it means is that they're going to lose their home court advantage. They already lost one game in Madison Square Garden in their particular stadium. If they had lost that second game in a row, it's very likely that the Spurs, having returned afterwards to San Antonio, would go on to win. The writing would have been on the wall.
Momentum.
The momentum would have been completely switched over, and the self-belief, which we're going to come into in just a moment, would have been gone.
At halftime, they're
29 points down.
They're
29 points down.
Okay. Unheard of comeback.
Unheard of comeback. Genuinely, on this level of play, has never ever happened. A phenomenon. 8 seconds to go. They take their final shot. At this point in time, now, fast forwarding, most people, when I say most people who care about basketball or, really don't have their head in the sand, you would have seen the highlights. But when I was in shul speaking about this, clearly I can't show a highlight reel. And instead, I genuinely took a massive A3 image of the play that switched everything around. So there's 8 seconds left. They have the final shot. It doesn't go in. But despite the Spurs having giants protecting the rim, out of nowhere comes this amazing basketball player. And he rises above everyone else, manages to have this tip in, and you see the clock behind the basket going down to 1.2 seconds, and it manages to go in and completely seals the game with 1 second to go. It was the most incredible comeback that has ever been seen. As a person who loves sport, as I know you do, this transcends particular interests in football or British sport or whatever it might be. This is a moment in sports history which has now been just completely cast and set. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it right now of what happened. Here's the clincher, though, because with all the pandemonium going on as the game ends, a reporter runs onto the court and goes to the captain of the team, and he says to him, "Jalen, how did you guys do what you just did?" Now, if I was asked a question like that, it's likely I would have pointed to someone and say, well, they pulled off this, they did that. Jalen gave the reporter the most puzzled look imaginable.
Just before you said that, I thought you were going to say you'd have pointed upwards.
Absolutely.
So that's
absolutely
interesting.
And instead, he gives this puzzled look to which then says, I don't get the question. How did we do it? We did it because we had belief in ourselves that regardless of whatever deficit we were in, we never stopped giving up. We continually backed our process, we completely backed ourselves, and it was our self-belief that carried them forward, which is a message, a lesson which transcends sport, and it speaks to what so many of us struggle with, which is our own self-belief. And at the time when I gave the sermon, I shared something personal. And that was when I was a teenager, and I thought I was edgy. I thought I was, I was countercultural. I didn't believe that you could trust anyone. I wanted to doubt everything. And to prove the point, I designed a t-shirt which had the word believe in it. It wasn't my idea. I must have seen it at some Gothic thing or another, but the point is it spoke to me. So you spell believe, B-E-L-I-V-E, L-I-E-V-E, believe, B-E-L-I-E-V-E. And I took those three middle letters, L-I-E, which is lie, and I had them in a different color, which said within every believe, there's a lie which is being sold to you. You can't believe anything. And I thought that was cool. I thought that I was communicating a genuine message. What I didn't realize is that when we lose belief in everything around us, we tend to lose belief in ourselves as well. And it took me a journey of growth to recognize that the same thing is true in inverse. When I can learn to believe in myself, when we can learn to believe in ourselves, then we have the capacity for others to believe in us as well, and hopefully to have that trust that all of us have something worth believing in.
Go back to the pitch, to the court.
The court.
Go back to the court. What I was going to ask you is, can you coach belief?
It's a funny one, isn't it? If we could, it would certainly make our jobs as parents a heck of a lot easier. Our jobs as teachers, our jobs as rabbis and leaders. I don't think you can. I think you can model it. I don't think the captain of the team got his mates to get on board because he gave them a pep talk on belief. I think they saw it in him. And because he wouldn't give up, he trusted in himself. They call him Captain Clutch, because in the moments that matter, he never doubts. And when you're in that kind of environment, it's contagious. And the same thing, again, also works in reverse. If we surround ourselves with people who lack self-belief, that's also going to be contagious. And really, that's what happened with the episode of the spies when they were entrusted to scout out the land in the portion of Shelach. And these 10 men, each of them lacking self-belief in themselves, they put them together and they came back with a report that said, there's no way. We can't achieve it. There's no way that we're going to be successful. And the only way that Joshua and Caleb were able to defy that is because they took themselves to the side. They didn't immerse themselves in that environment of self-doubt. So they were able to rise above it, which means that we really need to inspire communities or inspire the social circles or the professional staff that we are surrounded with, who at least are open-minded to having belief, to believing in themselves and believing what they could accomplish effectively as a team as well. And when I was speaking in the forum of my sermon, I didn't really know exactly where to go with it. But I got a gift, because right before Shabbat, when I was ready I thought I had my sermon ready, there actually is another member of our community, believe it or not, who is as meshuggah, as crazy about basketball as I am. And he messaged me right before Shabbat to say, Rabbi, if there's anyone who doesn't believe in Hashem, doesn't believe in God, show him the highlights of Game 4 and he'll believe. And I smiled and I messaged Alex back and said, that's not why I would show the highlights. It's for the person who lacks belief in themselves. If you lack belief in yourself, see the highlights of what it means to never give up, to never lose that self-belief, and you'll be able to get it back. And then, if we can find a way of believing in ourselves, then God will believe in us too. We have to believe in ourselves first, and then God knows we have the tools to achieve. And we spoke last time around mission and being a light and making our mark in the world. It all comes from self-belief.
So self-belief to belief, but without the lie.
it's the foundation. If we get the foundation right, where we can find that inner voice within ourselves that says, actually, we can do this, that's the beginning of everything. Confidence, belief, without it, we can't succeed. The spies came back and said, we thought of ourselves like mere grasshoppers, and so we believe we were seen by them as such as well.
So it's the spies' lack of self-belief. It wasn't lies that they were seeing. It wasn't it was the fact that they didn't believe
In themselves.
That we could achieve.
That's right. And they were great men, because self-belief isn't measured by how accomplished we are or are not in life. We could achieve a lot and actually, deep down, continually doubt ourselves. It doesn't mean a little bit of healthy self-doubt or willingness to ask for support is a bad thing. Of course, it's part of the processes of achieving our best. But there's a big difference between that and lacking self-belief. If we truly believe, which I do, that we are created in the image of God, that means that we are boundless in what we're able to achieve. And if there's a message that I would want to give coming from the portion that we read, but using the experience of the New York Knicks, who in 5 games won this amazing championship. Believe in your process. Believe in your hard work. Believe in yourself. And surround yourself, if at all possible, with similar people. It's contagious. It's positivity. And it's severely lacking in the world around us. So let's add some more belief into our circles and unlock whatever it is that we want to achieve.